What up, great people? I said, what up, great
Hey,
people?
hey, hey.
You know who it is. It's your boy AD.
And it's your girl D Gang Gang.
And right now, you are tuned in to Twice the Advice. So, what we're going to be talking about tonight is a really, really good conversation, man. I think we're going to all enjoy this one. And we're talking about complacency.
Yes.
We're talking about complacency.
Talk about complacency.
All right. So, have you ever really paid attention to someone that has been complacent, someone that you could consider
Paid attention to.
someone that
How
you can
could you
consider
even
to be
possibly miss it?
really, really comfortable?
How could you miss someone being complacent?
Well, I mean, I don't think that you really can because they're going to stand out to you. They're going to stick out in so many different ways. And oftentimes, the negativity that they consist of,
Yeah.
it's going to show you even more about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's most definitely my opinion of what it is with people that are complacent because even me, myself, being a judge of myself, when I was really young and immature, I validated my actions with BS excuses.
Yeah.
And it was because I was comfortable with what it was that I was doing. I was comfortable with the minuscule results that I was getting.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
What
those
up,
little pennies
nephew?
added up. So after dealing with my own complacent and stagnant mentality, I now come to understand what it is that I see when I see other people doing these things. And you know how they say you gotta deal with folks where they at, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So here's what it is. I was having a conversation today with a good friend girl of mine, and she was talking about, I just don't understand how, hey sis, I don't understand how people get into these relationships or these marriages and they get so comfortable with things just being.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, girl, talk about it. Not paying no mind, she's just kind of rambling. And she says, I have a friend of mine who's married, and she's always upset at her husband for looking at other women. And it just bothered me because I'm saying I'm not married. This is her talking. I'm not married. But if my husband is looking at other women, then that to me means I might need to check me.
Well, that is definitely a way to look at it. Because if you're accountable, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna say, well, maybe I could do a little bit more to be sexy or to be looked at so that I can feel sexy.
Sound familiar?
Oh, definitely. And we've been there. So it's wonderful that she said what it is that she said. And even when we came to that point, when I said to you, you know what I'm saying? I think I might have hurt your feelings a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I made it
You did.
very clear to you, you know what I'm saying, of what it was that you needed to do. Because even though I wanted you to be sexy and feel sexy for me, it was important for it. In fact, it was more important for you to feel sexy for
right.
you and for me. So, pardon us, we kind of
Listen, it's
left
been one
the
of,
phones.
No, I'm sorry. It's just been one. Okay.
Notifications on and everything.
Guys,
so.
listen. Let me just say this real quick. Okay, never at any point do we want to make you guys feel like we are just a face on a device that you're using.
Right.
We are real people. Okay,
Real
and
people
today,
that's really married that deal with real situations and circumstances.
it has definitely been a day today. We both got home really late for a Tuesday,
Right.
knowing what it is that we have to do, but I don't know. I think that tonight's topic was definitely something that we needed to look at. I said something, at work. I was like, hey, tonight's topic is going to be about complacency. And oddly enough, my boss said, oh, child, I think a lot of people get complacent in relationships.
I think a lot of people get complacent, period.
In
because,
life.
yeah, we're creatures of habit. And it's just like when when you hustling, or you know what I mean, not necessarily where it has to be a negative, but you on your hustle, you on your grind, you're starting your business, you're doing something new for yourself and for
period. I'm gonna stay sick.
everyone that you consist of, as far as trying to bring another means of financial stability or whatever. if you're on your grind like that and you hustling, right? When you start making that money and you see how money really starts to generate, you can get comfortable right there. Or you can go hard and you can hit the gridiron and get up at 5 a.m. like you was when you initially started doing what you was doing to be out by 10:30. You can make it happen. All those different things you have to take into consideration. So when you settle in one situation, you become a settler and you'll always settle. That's my point of view. Okay. That's what's really the meat of things when you start looking at little things from a different perspective. Like I've said, and like other people, great people that care for me have told me, if you can't change your position, then change your perspective.
I agree with that 110. So we got a couple of quick hey Lisa, really quick.
What's up?
It says I feel like it's normal for you guys to look. I don't see an issue with it. I had a conversation at work with a young lady who said she takes offense when someone that she's with or dating looks at other women. She's like, a quick glance or whatever. She doesn't mind, but when it gets to be excessive, so to speak,
right?
She takes it personal. And I said, well, I'll be very honest because that's just kind of how I give it up. I said, once upon a time when I wasn't very secure within myself, I would take it extremely personal when the person that I was with would look at other women. At one point, it really kind of like jabbed at me for my husband to look at other women. And then I realized the reason why I felt the way about him looking at other women was because I wasn't feeling all that secure in myself. Hey, baby.
And she also put in little to no effort to make sure that she felt sexy for herself.
Correct. Not for even for his sake, because I think that's kind of like where we go wrong, that we're looking for that outside satisfaction or gratification, I think, but it really wasn't that. I really just wanted to be able to get up, look at me and feel sexy. I feel that I'm a beautiful person on the inside, so sometimes when the outside isn't all together, I can still feel beautiful, but sexy is another level.
I agree.
And I don't, I still kind of like battle back and forth, like, ooh. So I tell him sometimes, like, you got to give me this today. I just need to have this moment. I need to feel. And he's like, okay, I guess, this is what it is. I guess, this is what it is. But,
you sexy.
Period. But it's extremely important that we understand how complacency happens, what we can do once we recognize that it is happening, and then what steps you can really take to come out of that rut, because it's just a rut.
Okay, so so do you feel that people can really become like problematic when it comes down to complacency and people's opinion of them being comfortable?
So yes and no, and I'm gonna say this. Hey Lavonda, how you doing? Take a look at that comment. That looks to be dope. I take it personal when my dude stares too long, especially if the female is walking back and forth and his eyes are, what does that say? Still following. Okay, I feel disrespected. And I let him know. Lisa, I'm pretty sure that you do, because I know you pretty well. But check this out. So here's my thing. I do feel like there's levels and there's a way to respectfully still admire someone's beauty, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't want to be with someone who is blind.
Right. and fellas, to be honest with you, tell a woman what not to do, she's gonna find 9 or 10 different ways to do it. That's just real of it. You can't control a person. And I have dealt with that. I've been the controlling boyfriend. I've been the jealous boyfriend. I've been the controlling and jealous husband. And I take your ass out if I got to. You know what I'm saying? I've been him.
Wait, do it again.
I've been him. You know what I'm saying? About that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. About bae. Yeah, but I've come to realize that it's a whole lot more to the many portions and pieces of a relationship. Yeah. So I try not to really do things like that. We've had our infidelities, and I look at it as in the same situation where it's like knowing that I'm giving what it is that I want back, knowing that I'm giving what it is that I want back, I understand.
Right. It takes it to a different level. So that's kind of what that is. I think after you spend a certain amount of time with someone, complacency almost comes natural.
Just
Let's stop acting like when people get in related. Hello, we can't see beauty anymore. I agree with that 110%.
Right.
My thing is, I think that after you've been with a person for a certain amount of time, that's when the opportunity for complacency even begins. And so,
right, Risha.
What's it say? Women look at men too. It's a difference when the other person is lustfully staring or just admiring the person's beauty. I agree. Staring and watching is a bit much. So yes, I could only agree. And I'll be honest, I've seen men and women as a woman, and I've said, "Oh my God, that's a handsome man. Oh my God, that's a beautiful woman.
It's a nice looking couple."
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, man,
I
you
told
see
her,
them,
I'm like, look
look
at your boyfriend. I see him over there with his cute ass, my Larry. You know what I'm saying? But it takes a lot of nurturing and trust to be able to do things like that.
To be able to communicate that way.
Shout out to my big bro Deacon Mayfield, right? I remember his wife saying, we were at dinner together at our house. They were at our house and we were up in the mountains, and she said, she's like, my husband, sees guys all the time and says, would you be with that kind of man if something were to happen to me? Or, this is the kind of man that I want you to deal with. You should deal with this guy.
And what was your response, babe?
Oh, no, you not.
He was like, what? I'm not. I'm not there.
Look, play in traffic, play with your mama, don't play with me.
He was being so for real. But
play in traffic, play with your mama, don't play with me.
But that's where he was at the time.
That's where I was.
That's where he was at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my own sense of crazy, one and the same, because I'm not putting them with nobody because I'm gonna be here.
Right.
I ain't going nowhere.
And I respect that. But now with me being more mature, more trustworthy for myself, and trustworthy when it comes to my wife, I'm not in that comfortable place of, oh well, I cheat because shit, I'm scared of getting cheated on.
Right.
Or what I mean?
So that kind of ties into so many other things. But let's kind of reel this back in real quick. So complacency happens. What do you think are some of the reasons why people get complacent? You guys tell me, what are some of the things that you think happens in a relationship that causes people to get to be a little complacent? Other than just time, what do you think happens? Or what is your own experience with complacency?
I think it's just a lax state of mind. You know what I mean?
People fall into routines. Okay.
Yeah. We're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
But I can't necessarily explain it, because even when you feel like you're doing so much and you're really not doing
kids,
enough.
oh my gosh, that's a huge one for me. Oh my God. A break in the routine.
She's talking about you.
She is talking about me.
Okay, cool.
I'm telling you, because that's it for me. The kids.
A break in the routine.
Oh my God, that's it for me. The kids. It's like, oh my gosh, it's the kids. It's kids.
Gotten the prize already. Wow.
They feel like they got you, so they don't have to do the extra life, because life has a way of kicking your butt.
But I agree with Jazz right there. I think when you first get with a person, it's just like when that's bae. You know what I'm saying? When that's bae, you call bae in the morning, make sure bae good. You check on bae around lunchtime. Before the end of the night, you want to make sure you hear bae voice. So you and bae have all type of in-depth conversations. It gets real. It gets good. It gets lovely. The sex is always on time without asking. All of that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? She go in the bed with nothing on, because that's the way a grown woman should sleep.
Don't talk about me in front of my face. Don't do that.
No, but I am trying to take you somewhere. Just come on down this road with me.
I'm sorry.
But when you're dealing with her and you in that base stage, things are so fresh and so good, and you easily, comfortably, willingly
just
give yourself to that. so that you can let that person know not only are you interested, but where you're coming from as far as their significance.
So for me, I think I'm not going to talk about what I think may have caused you to get to be complacent. That's not the way that I'm going to go at this. I'm going to speak for myself.
The newness stage, right?
Yeah. I think for myself, I'm gonna speak for me, because even where you talk about like, oh well, I got them now, so it's it's not a big deal. You don't have to put in too much. I'll be honest, I did say that. It was like, child, please, he ain't going nowhere now. But it wasn't that I didn't feel the need to do anything to make you happy. It was just like, okay, I don't have to put so much pressure. No. I don't have to put so much pressure or thought into that. Now I can focus on the kids. I can focus on work. I can focus on church. I can focus on all these other things. I didn't have to, in my mind, I convinced myself that I didn't have to focus on that. And that was the biggest mistake that I made. It was a level of complacency, but it wasn't an intentional decision. It was like, we're together now, so I don't have to go above and beyond. And then it would be these moments or these times where it would be like, dang.
And we were out, and I'm looking like, shorty got her ass on her. I'm going to spend my cash on. And then we would end up going into this whole crazy situation. We couldn't communicate, didn't want to communicate, wanted to be the furthest thing from each other, even in the same room.
Yeah.
And you get to a place where things are just either all bad, or you can actually still see the good in it.
Yeah.
So when you stop talking and you stop communicating, which is a very good point that Lavonda made.
Yeah. Huge mistake.
You literally take your chances of survival down.
Yeah.
When it's like, oh, you know what you did. You know what I'm saying? You take those chances away. And even when you hold them to them, you know what I'm saying? Every time you turn around, you got a gun to your head and you're playing Russian roulette. You don't know when you're going to say something that's going to trigger something completely different.
Correct. Watch this. So I have a question for you. Could you say that you knew or could recognize when I was trying to come out of the complacency stage? Was there something that I would do to kind of signify like I'm trying to break the routine?
I could see more effort in you doing more for yourself, but the communication changed. And I think that we kind of like reevaluated a lot of stuff. The marriage contract.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a huge.
The marriage contract was a big deal for us because it dared us to go deeper in conversation.
Yeah.
And it committed us to the vows that we had already made.
You know what it was for me? So if you guys don't know what it is that we're even talking about,
we gotta find that thing so we can put it.
It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. So actually, it's not here, but we're not even gonna go there. We're not right now. That's a whole situation within itself. But we were in a very, very difficult spot in our relationship. And so a really great couple that we looked up to suggested that we do a love contract. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so dope. Yeah. Not exactly like a marriage contract, but just a love contract.
Just a love contract.
Because it was like, you guys are losing the luster in your love.
Right.
So go back to that. And it what that did was it forced us to communicate, to come to an agreement, and to put in the effort that we hadn't stopped thinking about.
And started doing it, making it something that was actively happening.
It was really great. We had to write it up. We had to come to an agreement on it. No, nothing like a prenup.
It was just literally an agreement between two people that love each other.
I look at it like this. Okay, so watch this. So have you ever been written up at work, right? Because it's like, okay, you're not doing something, but it wasn't the kind of write up where it's like, oh, you're gonna get fired. Right. It's the kind of write up where it's like, okay,
you're being reprimanded.
We're gonna have a written verbal discussion
Mm-hmm.
about your performance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what it was. We had decided that we were going to sit down and write down the ups and downs, good, bad, and indifferent
Yep.
about our performance as a couple,
Yep.
as husband and wife.
Yep.
And we had to sit down and agree to several terms and
Terms.
conditions to continue to grow our love.
Not in a sense to where it's like you won't deny me of this,
Nothing
or
like that
you
at
know
all.
some crazy thing like I've seen with some couples where you get a pass
Nothing like that.
every couple of months,
Nothing like that at all, y'all.
year. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing like
Nonsense.
that.
But it was more like, okay, you agreeing to be the best version of you so that I can be the best version of me.
One of the biggest things that we worked really hard on when we decided to do the love contract was naked conversations.
That was to help regain the trust that we had both just really kind of discarded.
Yeah, and extend the level in which we communicated,
Yeah.
because naked signifies there's nothing that's hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would have what we call these naked conversations, and that would help us to understand that we were coming from a very pure place, and that has helped us to kind of cultivate where we are right now.
Those naked conversations actually help us put together the wording for the love contract.
For sure.
And this love contract, it like, I can't really explain it, but you know what I'm saying? You know when it's like you go and you purchase some furniture, or you know what I'm saying, you make a new car purchase, it comes with the receipt, it comes with disclosure.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, you can look and oversee everything.
Yeah.
So we went through all of that, and then we came down to one agreement saying that, hey, listen, I love you, you love me, we've made these vows, we're married, and that's a contract.
Yeah.
But this contract is better contract. This one is the one where we confess how we feel about each other and why we've decided to put so much time into this one investment.
Yeah. So it's funny how I hear people often say, marriage is just a piece of paper. Can I just say, I hate that people say that.
Those are oftentimes single or divorcees.
I hate that people say that, because it is not just a piece of paper. Any real married person can tell you that marriage is not just a piece of paper.
Baby.
But we decided to kind of use that same concept of the piece of paper to hold us accountable, because a lot of the times you don't even think about it.
Well, I mean, shout out to Mother Earth's Holistic Healing LLC, my girl Lavonda, and the Williams family. Listen, these drinks, amazing.
I'm not gonna play with him, but I will tell you that tonight's treats. Let me take a little piece because they're a little strong. Tonight's treats were provided to us by Walking on Sunshine Edibles.
That's right. And you can find them on Instagram if you want to order anything, or if you just want to see what it is that they have to offer, go and check them out. No doubt.
All right, bet. So let's come back. So we're talking about complacency, right? A lot of the times what happens in a relationship that causes people to become complacent, beyond getting comfortable and also the good stuff, what happens is people are in a relationship and they focus more on what the other person is bringing in versus what they're bringing.
That's right.
And it's like, oh, well, he didn't do or she didn't do, so why am I?
Right.
And that is, it's like weeds to a garden. It is slow, but a very agonizing death to love in a relationship. So you have to be very, very mindful of that. And I know he and I have kind of talked about how, my focus is not going to be what he's bringing. It's going to be what I'm putting out, because what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it.
Come on.
And I think a lot of that has helped us to kind of break those really awful, cycles where it's like, I'm not going to do it this time. I'm not going, I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. But I asked the question about, do you think you could recognize when I was coming out of those stages of complacency? Because if you look back over our relationship, right? I'm going to take you out of place. If you look back over our relationship, every so often that we would get to that place of complacency.
Hey, Auntie Ann.
Hey, Auntie. if you noticed, I would plan a trip.
Yeah.
When things start to get a little stale or they start to get a little old, I would plan a trip. Sometimes we just have to be the love we want, even if they're not willing in that moment. That's the God's honest truth. And somebody has to take the lead on that, because if two people are not willing, then nothing will ever change. But at least if one person is willing, then you have the chance to sway the other person.
But you also have to be willing to communicate so that you can let the other person know how you truly want to be loved. It's nothing wrong with giving a person exactly what it is that you expect back. But if you are, um, giving a whole lot more and not getting as much, it doesn't necessarily make that mean that relationship has to come to an end. You just have to be able to identify within yourself and execute those things that you want.
So here it is for me. I've said this before, but I'll say it again, that this is my second marriage, not my first.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been such a stepping stone for me to understand what I'm up against as far as our marriage goes, because I understand that there is so much power in the vows that you make.
Mm.
Okay. And so it talks about how you'll be with the person, richer or poor, better, worse, sickness, health, right? And all these other great things. And so I just find it to be enlightening as to how you go through all of those in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Better, worse, richer, poor, sickness, health. You really actually do go through all of those things. And it's like, okay, I made a vow to love this person through all of these things. How much did I really mean it? And that's really what the marriage
Hmm.
will show. Did I really mean what I said when I said it? Did I truly make a vow? Because a vow is something that you don't break. Did I truly make a vow, or was I just saying words?
Right.
And for me, I understood after having one failed marriage, regardless of the reason. Hey, Unc.
Okay.
See,
Big
Unc
guys in
tuned
the
in.
house.
I understood that with making the commitment to this marriage and making a vow before God, that good, bad, you know what I'm saying, and everything in between, that I had made a vow to God to love this man.
But the standard was so much higher because you had an understanding of what it
For
was.
sure. But I've even had to say to you, like, I made a vow to God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't even to you. And I think that's where the discrepancy comes from. I made a vow to God to love you. And so even when you weren't lovable, you know what I'm saying? And I said that, like, you've been
Right.
but I still loved you because I told God that I would.
Gotcha.
So that's how we maintain
Go
that.
ahead. Go ahead, Tusi. Ooh, my sugar.
That's umami.
Oh, she gonna get you for that. But listen, she made some very valid points. You are hilarious. Very valid points.
I can't keep myself.
But these relationships
That's
that
umami.
people get themselves into, they have to be willing to change. The meat of everything that we're talking about is complacency. Change is inevitable. Every day is an evolution. We wake up, the sun comes up, the sun goes down, and it sets again. As evolution goes on and you don't evolve, it kind of puts you in such a bubble because it's just not gonna work.
Stagnant waters stink. So
Come on.
anything that is not changing is going to eventually reek. It's not going to look good. It's not going to smell good. It's not gonna gel well. It's just not gonna do well. And so that's one of those things that you have to kind of keep in mind, where you can't become complacent in life. You can't become complacent in your relationship. You just can't become complacent. That's correct.
Right.
Throw things out of whack. Stagnant is not where it's at. So,
and also you have to realize that when you do these things, that it happens in such a common, just that fashion. It's just like, it's so easy, you know what I mean? It's just like a little child, nobody teaches a child how to lie. Why is that?
You don't have to.
You don't have to. So but you do have to teach a person how to be motivated, how to love. And if you can teach them through error, then you will motivate them, because they like, man, you know what I mean? It's like, she was with me when I was down, so I'm a ball with her while I'm up. And that motivation comes from knowing where we've been, how low, how unworthy and disgusted and disgusting things were.
Correct.
Not only for you, but for the two of us. So you have to be able to identify strengths in people, put that to work, and in an effort, get them out of that rut of comfortability, because that's what creates more stagnation, and they become comfortable in that place and in those surroundings.
So for me, one of the reasons why when things would get kind of crazy for us, I would always want to, take us out of town, go on a trip, do something crazy, is because getting out of what you see every day kind of helps you look at things from a different
perspective. Yeah.
We
skydiving. I mean,
parasailing. I was getting ready to talk about the trip where we went parasailing, right?
Yeah.
And so we were going through some things around that time, and
we was cutting food.
Yeah, we was. I wasn't gonna say all that, but okay.
We was both cutting food.
I wasn't gonna say all that, but yeah, things were really crazy. And so I booked a trip, and we went out to the lake, and we went parasailing, and we were 90 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
And as we were looking down at these people that looked like ants, it was like,
I just want to let all of this go.
Yeah, it was like, why were we even arguing?
Yeah, like the negative and everything. Like this is just, let's do more
of these
that literally consist of first times. Yeah. When was the last time you did something for the first time? So that's what we started.
When's the last time we did something for the first time?
Girl, please, this weekend. What you
Sunday, baby.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So we did something for the first time just this past
We
Sunday.
went out to Cafe Bourbon Street.
Yes, which was great.
So oh my gosh, man.
Time. Can't
go
wait to go
check them out if you're in the Atlanta area. Period. And you end up over there at Cafe Bergman Street
off of Sylvan Road.
Man, listen, go holler at them folks, because they're gonna take great care of you.
And I'm gonna tell you like this here,
so worth the wait.
The line might get a little long, so take your chill in the umbrella in Atlanta heat, but I will say this, it was definitely worth the wait. The food was phenomenal.
Definitely, man, definitely. And if you get a chance to go right over next door to Candyland and get you one of them frozen drinks that she got.
Oh my god.
That lemonade, listen, the Tiger Blood is off the chain.
Those drinks are great. Anyway, so that was our first time until the next first time comes again.
Right.
But we are definitely not just, I never want to get into the rut of just talking about things. I want to kind of give you some realistic things that you can do. Ladies, I'm gonna talk to you because I can't talk to the fellas. I don't know how to get them out of that, but I will say this for the ladies. Go in the back, reach all the back to the closet and pull the freakum dresses out. And you ain't even got to be going nowhere, but ain't nothing wrong with putting that thing on and just prancing around a little bit to get out of the norm. You walk around all the time with just your house dress on, or maybe your robe and some slides. Do something a little different this time. Pull out one of those little tight dresses, or heck, if all you got is a bathing suit, put that on. If that's what you got to do with a pair of heels, I'm pretty sure he'll be shocked and surprised, and it's effective. So you really want to try to come out of the norm. I will say, it's time. I actually have already paid for a photo shoot, so now I'm just waiting for COVID to slow up a little bit more so I can go and have my my boudoir photo shoot. I'm looking forward to that. Babe, you messing with my camera now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got a whole situation going on with this phone. Yeah, what is you doing?